We're back on sports. There's a couple things I want to talk about first before we get into the meat and potatoes and things like we usually do. I want to start off with the U.S. men's Team USA losing in the World Cup. They were eliminated yesterday. Look, I want to say this now, all right, because I tried to tell you guys on Twitter last week, all right, when they lost to Germany and we still advanced, a lot of you guys were saying, oh, well, as long as we advance, I'm like, no. Like Herman said, like a lot of you said, you played to win the game. The U.S. were not winning games. They were squeaking by. There's a reason why it's called a group of death. And a lot of people say, yeah, but we were in it. No, understand they were testing us. Don't you understand by now that the U.S. is usually hated when it comes to soccer because we only give a damn about it once every 4 years? Was it 4 years? No one cares. All right, here. These same guys, and this is what I'm going to get at, all right? Because as you know, I've covered soccer many times on my channel. But also understand that there's a lot of guys who don't watch soccer that all of a sudden became super patriots. You've got to be kidding me. And I say this because a lot of people were cheering. I understand you want to cheer for your country. That's fine, all right? But if it comes with the price of bagging on another country, that's absolutely wrong. We saw the U.S. play yesterday, and it was absolutely horrible. The defense was horrible. Tim Howard was standing on his head. You can't ask more for him. You can't. You can't ask for so much. And the sad part is, there were so many people who were bagging on the U.S. That's right. The same people who were cheering for the U.S. were bagging on the U.S. And they didn't think they had a chance to come back. Once the U.S. scored that goal, all right, what happened? You saw people like, yeah, we're back. And then when the U.S. lost, what did I tell you? When you play the way they did last week, what did I say? We'll see what happens this week. You know what I mean? And we'll see how you feel then. And then they lost. And those same guys who were just so happy that they had just squeaked by instead of, actually winning a game, squeaked by, all of a sudden, were mad. They're mad. Like, what did you expect? This is what happens. You have to win games in the World Cup. You have to. You have no choice. Okay? But after that, like I said, everyone all of a sudden, oh, well, I'm still a fan of the U.S. I'm still American till I die. I don't recall anybody questioning your loyalty to the U.S. I don't recall anyone. However, you should know by now that if you don't watch soccer, you really shouldn't be speaking on it. And you were ruining the fun for other people who were watching the game. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you say, well, I don't have any shame. You do understand that you don't even watch MLS. These are the same people who were saying diehard U.S. soccer don't watch MLS. Some of you people, even Philly fans, when's the last time you watched a Union game? Oh, wait, they're not winning, right? So you won't watch them. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to hear this. Look, they didn't have a chance. If you thought that they were going to win, you bought into advertising. That's what you did. And the sad part is, it worked. You see how many fans were out there? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. In no way in hell am I going to sit here and just be like, oh, yeah, U.S. all the way. I understand you want to support your country, and I was watching, but you should know by now, when the way they played in those previous games, you should have saw that this was going to go, it wasn't going to go but so far. And you should know, if you watch soccer, if you're so U.S., pro-U.S., you should know by now that the U.S. women's team is better than the men's team. 10 times better than the men's team. But no one wants to talk about that, though. Apparently, if you were against the U.S. or if you even criticized them, even though those people were criticizing the U.S. as well, yeah, apparently you were American. I'm so tired of this, man. You should be ashamed. Seriously. All of you need to get your collective asses out of your heads. And speaking of asses and heads, that's right. I want to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies, they obviously don't care anymore. Their players do not care. They do not care to win games. If you've been watching these games, it is absolutely disgusting. They're not even trying. There's guys out there who pretty much olaying the ball. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And the thing is, baseball in general has come down to a crawl. Look, when you are making tea in the dugout, that's right, not paying attention to the game, there's problems. The Braves went on to sweep the Phillies. That's right, 4-game sweep. It has not been done since 1997. Okay? And after that, the Phillies players are all smiling and joking. I don't see what's so funny. Fans online do not see what's so funny. But this is what happens. Every time the Phillies get destroyed by teams, you got these type of guys in the dugout just laughing. Just sitting out there laughing like it's something funny. I don't see what's so funny. Y'all losing, y'all 10, was it 10, what now, 11 games? under 500. And the thing is, the NL East isn't that, it's not that far apart. At one point, it was only like 5 games apart. If you guys pushed hard enough, you could be there. Now, this is what I don't understand, all right? Because the Phillies want us fans to come to the games. If you're not going to try hard, why should I give you my money? And I've been tempted to go to a couple games this year so far, this season. And every time I'm, thinking about going, the Phillies prove once again that they don't deserve for me to go. You don't have to win the games, all right? That's not what it's about. Oh, I'm going to go just to see you win. If you don't win, I'm not going to support you. No. All you have to do is play hard. And a lot of you aren't playing hard. And you think that's okay. It's not okay. I'm just saying that now. But I want to move on. I want to talk about NHL. Flyers. That's right, Flyers. Okay, Flyers, I'm okay with what has happened not too long ago in the draft. I went to the draft, for those who know. We all had fun. And the Flyers did the right thing by taking the D-man first. We had to go that way because for anybody who has seen what's been going on as of late, first off, I haven't had a chance to talk about you traded Scott Hartnell. And for those who don't know what's going on, that was very upsetting for not only myself and other fans, but also for Scott Hartnell. Because for those who don't know, when he was asked, to be traded to Savage, Scott Hartnell has a no-trade clause. Okay? When they asked him if they, would he mind leaving, he was upset because he wanted to stay. But the fact that they asked him to leave because, his contract says, he really wanted to stay in Philadelphia. But they asked him to leave. So he was like, you know what? He was so upset. He just said, I'm going. I'll leave. Obviously, you don't want me here. That's what it came down to. Okay? Now, when this happened, it was on the same day. And I want Flyers fans to remember this. When they traded him, it was on the same day that they traded Mike Richards. Did they trade Jeff Carter? Did they trade JVR? That same day. That's D-Day. You understand that? Was that June 23rd? D-Day for Flyers. For Flyers players, I should say. It is absolutely shameful that they keep doing this. And telling players, hey, we're not going to trade you, and then he trade you. Scott Hartnell, however, took it, being classy, because he was being classy. They said he was upset, but, took the trade to Columbus, but he is still going to do his charity work with the Snyder organization here in Philadelphia. So it goes to show you how classy this guy can be. Regardless of how you feel about him on the ice, he's still doing, the charity work for the kids and things of that nature. He is. So, Flyers, you should be ashamed of yourself for doing it. I told you before, Ron Hextall, he is the sole reason why I started playing hockey. He's the sole reason why I watched hockey. And I knew that this was going to start happening, that I was going to disagree with him for R.J. Umberger and a couple of draft picks. No, I don't believe it. Scott Hartnell, and this is the problem. People are looking at Scott Hartnell saying, well, his production was down. You need to look at Craig Berube and see why. Why would you put Scott Hartnell and Wayne Simmons on the same line, knowing that they do the same job, which is get in front of the goalie and create chaos? Of course, what you should have done, Craig Berube, is break that line up. That's what you need to do. Put one on the second line and one on the first line. Now, granted, I understand that players don't like to drop lines. Look at LeCavalier. He didn't like to drop to the fourth line. I get it. All right? But understand that you have better chance when you have two players that have the same skill set that do the same thing and grind. What you can do is put them on separate lines for better chances of scoring on different lines. Instead, Berube decided he just wanted to put them all on the same line, and pretty much when one guy excels, the other guy's numbers are down. So it doesn't work. In theory, what he was trying to do to create more, chaos in front of the net so we can score easier would work because you have shooters like Giroux, all right? But it does not work in this aspect. You have to put one on a different line. And that's why it didn't work. But, of course, the player is going to be blamed instead of the actual coaching, because the philosophy of things. Because they don't want to change the culture of things. This is what the Flyers do. And speaking of the Flyers, for those who do not know, all right, Claude Giroux was arrested. That's right, he was arrested in Ottawa for grabbing a male police officer's ass. Look. All right, he was drunk. Alcohol was a factor, but they arrested him for it. But I will put it like this. People who do not like Philadelphia Flyers or Philadelphia in general, this is their way of saying now they have some ammo to fire back at us. This is what they have, okay? And I will also say this, and I'm saying this very sincerely. I would rather Claude Giroux get arrested in Ottawa for grabbing a male police officer's ass than Patrick Kane beating up that cabbie saying, look, I don't have to pay this cab fare because I'm Patrick Kane. And then the cabbie's like, no, you have to pay the cab fare, and then they beat him up and skip out on the on the cab fare. I would rather Claude Giroux be arrested for that. I would rather Claude Giroux be arrested for grabbing a police officer's ass, a male police officer's ass, than the guy in Colorado, the goalie who kidnapped his child, and then he was arrested. And what did the Avalanche do to him? Because he was a goalie. What did they do to him? They gave as a reward, because that's what they did. They rewarded him. They didn't punish him. For reward, they gave him a contract extension. I don't know what's going on around here. All right, but like I said, back to the draft. After the Flyers had picked, okay, we were very happy. And I want to say this now, NHL. I do not understand what you're trying to do here, because I had a chance to take a picture with the Stanley Cup. And as soon as I got my hopes up for it, it was taken away from me like that. And I say this because right after the Flyers picked, right after, all right, everyone cheered, high five, whatever, when we were there. We left. We didn't waste a minute. We left. We went downstairs to go get our picture taken with the Stanley Cup, because apparently it's not just your picture taken. You can actually touch the cup. Now, look, people, for those who understand, in my lifetime, the Flyers may never win a Stanley Cup. So this is about as close as I was going to get to the Stanley Cup, by actually being able to physically touch it. That's right. Touch it and take a picture with it. This is probably the only memory I'm going to ever have of the Flyers winning one, in my lifetime. So when I got down there, the security guard, that's right, this guy, was being an absolute dick to people. That's right. And I say this because you have to understand, when we get down there and we're seeing the line, because the line's really not that long, but he cuts off the line. That's right. And about the 5 guys that are in front of us, there were a group of guys, they're asking him, they're like, why are you shutting down the line? He's like, because. He never gave them a legit reason. He never gave anyone a legit reason on why he's shutting down the line. Not, it was for a specific time and that's it. Nothing. Gave us nothing. Because. Had an attitude. And people were like, what is this guy's problem? And he's like, one guy had said, why are you shutting out the line now, right after the Flyers pick? That makes no sense. And the guy said he didn't care. And the next guy said, well, that's just being an asshole. And he flipped and was like, yeah, I'm a real asshole. What are you going to do about it? And he got in the guy's face like he wanted to fight this guy. And this is supposed to be security. What is going on, AHL? This is uncalled for. And he cut out the line. Of course, we couldn't get in line to take a picture with the Stanley Cup because this guy wanted to be a dick. It'd be one thing if, he actually gave a legit opinion, like, look, it's a certain time or whatever, you guys missed out. But they didn't say that on the program. It doesn't say, it's for a certain time. He cut out the line simply because he wanted to and didn't want to give explanation. And his word was law. This is what happens when you have top flight security, all right, think that they're bigger than what they really are. And it's sad. And I put this on towards NHL, but of course they never answered. So obviously they don't give a damn about the fans. Like I said, those fans are there from everywhere. And I want to say this to the players, to the people who were drafted in the AHL. You guys were amazing. For those who don't know, these guys came in the same entrance as fans. And it was retired players and drafted players and regular players came in the same entrance as fans. Fans were waiting right there in front of the door so that players would take pictures with them and do autographs. Those players, whether new, draftees or retired players, did a great thing. They sat there and they signed every autograph. They took every picture. Jeremy Roenick was down on the main floor for about 45 minutes because he was crowded by all these people who wanted to take pictures with him. And he sat there and he did it. And that's the thing. It's like these players, they gave a damn to reach out to their fans. Then when the fans want to go see the cup, you have some lowly security guard with a complex, try to deny you of something that you may never be able to actually see happen. It's a sad thing. It really is. It's always one person that's got to ruin it for everyone. Like I said, fans came from all around the world. People from Ottawa. There were so many people who had so many different accents and everything. It was really cool to see. I saw Devils fans go after Flyers fans, back and forth. Penguins, and this is just walking by and giving each other dirty looks. You can tell that it was thick. You know what I mean? Something may have went down. You didn't know. But everyone was there to have a good time and to have fun. I didn't see any problems. But it seems like they wanted, security guard just had to try and create one because he wanted to be the man that day. So I hope he feels good about himself. Congratulations, you're a dick. But I want to move on, to another draft. I want to talk about the NBA draft. Sixers. I do not understand what's going on. Well, I do understand what's going on to an extent, because I will put it like this. A lot of people were very upset of, the picks that they had. They picked one guy who's just injured, and he won't be able to play for another 5 to 8 months. That's our center. And it's weird because I had said not too long ago, a couple months ago, during the season, I said, what, if the Sixers want to get better, it's going to take at least 3 to 4 years. Did I not say that? And now we're seeing this happen. This guy, once again, this is the 3rd year in a row that you're collecting a guy who's injured. First it was Bynum, and you told fans to have patience, and then Bynum skipped town. Then it was Noel, and you told fans to have patience, and he's still not playing yet. And now you're telling people to have patience with this new guy because he's hurt. And he's got all types of problems with, his foot. And it's like, people, you can't keep, the Sixers organization has to understand that you can't keep asking people for patience. And then on top of it, you trade, a pick that you got for a guy from overseas who has a 2-year contract, all right, with Turkey. So he can't come over here within his 3rd season because he has to fulfill 2 years over there. And you're still asking, Sam Hinkie is still asking fans for patience. I think the patience is gone. I think the attendance shown well enough last year that people are not going to put up with this. Expect the Sixers to tank again this upcoming season. Richardson has, opted, he's kept his contract. He will play for the Sixers next season, okay? But understand he is not enough to keep this ship afloat. They're going to tank again for another draft pick. And they're going to keep tanking. I don't know if they're going to get the number 1 draft pick. I doubt they will, all right? And I don't think they're going to get 0-26 again. But understand that the Sixers, this is what they're doing. They have a plan to keep tanking. And fans are upset because you can't keep doing this. Like I said, it takes 3 to 4 years to get a good team, but you can still at least be competitive. Don't sit here and tell me that your biggest draws this year was when other players come to town because you're coming to see the Miami Heat. That's right, you're coming to see them. Not the Sixers play them, but coming to see them dominate. That's what you're coming to see. And then when they lost the first game, everyone went crazy. And then your second biggest draw of the year is when you retired Allen Iverson. Jalen Rose said it best. You should have suited up AI for a couple of those games to bring, revenue in. We've been saying this how long? But for some reason, the Sixers don't want to do that. They don't. What is it going to hurt? Oh, I forgot, your draft status. You don't want but X amount of wins because it may hurt yourself in the draft. And then you didn't get the number 1 pick anyway. And Dr. J was so damn mad, you could see it. If anyone watching, you could see it. Upset. The Sixers clearly do not care right now. They care about the future, but not the present. And I will put it like this. When people do not care about the present, the people that you have that you're building around, they're going to end up eventually leaving. I would not be surprised if Thad Young decided, hey, look, I want to go somewhere else. Because he's tired. He's been here for, 7 years? He's going to eventually want to leave. And play for a contender. As they get up in age, as you know, their stock goes down. They want to play for a contender, and they want to win. And speaking about playing for contenders, I want to talk about the Miami Heat. Because we saw what happened, during the championship. We saw the media now all of a sudden, because it's part of the draft, they turned it into LeBron Center. Why would you do this? This draft is about the young guys that are getting drafted. Why would you turn this into LeBron James needs more help? How much help does this guy need? He left Cleveland to go to Miami because of help. Now you're going to tell me he needs... Did you see the Miami Heat roster? Are you going to tell me Ray Allen? You got 2 shooters, actually. Ray Allen and James Jones. You got Birdman. You got Shane Battier, who he should have been gone a long time ago, let's be honest. But he can still hustle, okay? You had Cole. You had Chalmers. You had all these pieces, all right? You were 2 out of 4 times going to the championship. You were a 500 team right now. 2 out of 4. But it seems like he just needs more help. He needs more help. Are you serious? He's supposed to be supposedly the best player in the world. Granted, he can't do it on his own. We saw that at the end. All right? But you've got to be kidding me that you're going to sit here and say you need more help. I'm not trying to hear it. How much help do you need? You need the Monstars? Is that what you need? It makes no sense to me. He was smart for opting out. He'll stay in Miami, I think he will. All right? Was it Dwayne Wade, I believe, opted out of his contract. They're going to try and restructure everything. We've seen Carmelo Anthony opt out of his contract. But here's the problem I'm having right now with Miami. And it's not its fans. No, it's not its fans. It's not its players. It's the church. For those who know what I'm talking about. A church, because they want LeBron James to stay so much, a church decided to pray for him and praise him in the middle of their worship. That's right, by wearing LeBron James headbands, hoping he would stay in Miami. This has to be the most disgusting thing I've seen in a while, all right? Because I put it like this: whether you see antics or statements and things online or what people say, to make fun of your religion, you're shaming your religion by bringing LeBron James into the fold. I'm sure even LeBron James saw that and was like, wait a minute, this is going too far. For you to be praying for LeBron James to stay when there are sick, when there are hungry, when there are poor. You are in a place of worship, and the thing you're thinking of is LeBron James? Are you serious? It is a sport. It's basketball. It's a great sport. But in no way in hell, that's right, hell, would you be worshiping or praying for a basketball player to stay. What the hell is wrong with you? Remember, religion, when you go to church, that is your time to be with the Lord. And I say this because that's what it's supposed to be about. It's not so, oh, and please God, please keep LeBron James here. Are you serious? That is petty, that is selfish, that's frivolous. It has nothing to do with the problems of the world or your community. No one cares. You should be ashamed of yourself. And the thing is, no one's really getting on these people either. It's disgusting to see, man. Anyways, I'm done for today. You know what? No, I'm not done. Got a little bit of a gripe. Philadelphia Eagles. Alright? Lane Johnson. And for those who say I never do this, you can go back to many videos to see this, and I'm going to do it today as well. Alright, before this ends. Lane Johnson, I will never, ever support you. For those who don't know what happened, Lane Johnson has been suspended. Eagles, Lane Johnson, been suspended for 4 games for using PEDs. That's right. You want to cheat the system, you want to cheat the sport, and I know a lot of people say, but they cheat the sport all the time. I don't want to hear it. It's not the norm. You are taking away from people who are legitimately, hardworking. You shame the sport. The only person in the Eagles right now, and the thing is, I've been getting so much positive press about the Eagles. Connor Barwin is doing so much for this city. He just, he just hosted a concert, and the proceeds he was going to match to that concert would go to Philadelphia Parks to keep him up afloat. Connor Barwin has to be damn near Superman right now, as far as I'm concerned, here in Philadelphia. The Eagles just had another charity basketball game here, in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles, for everything positive they are doing, it is getting overshadowed by things like PEDs and Lane Johnson. I will never support you. Anyways, I'm done for today. Y'all have a good day. I'm out.